Welcome to the Host Planet Playbook, your go-to guide for mastering short-term rentals. In this special series, we're sitting down with 30 of the world's top property managers to uncover what really drives success in the vacation rental industry. You'll hear their stories, learn the key lessons they've picked up along the way, and discover the game-changing tech they use to deliver 5-star guest experiences. If you're serious about growing your STR business, you're in the right place. We've also developed an ebook featuring the stories of every manager in this series, and you can download it for free. Head to hostplanet.club to find out more. In today's episode, we're chatting to Kristina Koreneva from Daify Homes in Dubai. Stand by for a deep dive into the unique challenges of property management in the UAE, including why getting the air conditioning temperature just right is absolutely essential. This special series is brought to you by Host Planet and Hospitable, the smart AI-powered property management software trusted by hosts worldwide. With Hospitable, you can automate guest messaging, sync calendars across platforms, and manage your rentals with ease, all from one powerful, easy-to-use platform. If you're keen to run your short-term rental on autopilot, try Hospitable today. Visit hospitable.com/hostplanet to see how the platform can save you time, reduce stress, and maximize your earnings. Kristina, thank you for being part of the Host Planet Playbook. Let's start with you. Tell us where you're located and how many rentals you manage.
Hello, James. Thank you so much for having me. I'm based in Dubai, in United Arab Emirates, and my company is managing 50 properties at the moment.
Fantastic. And tell us how long you've been in Dubai and why you decided to go and live there.
I'm living in Dubai since 2009, and I moved here when I was working in hospitality. So this is how it all started. I worked for all the major, hotel chains, and that's why I moved here.
And how did you make the switch to short-term rentals? What convinced you to set up your own management company?
It was quite natural, being from hospitality. And then I worked a considerable number of years in project management. And at some point, I was looking for a property for myself. And then I saw another company do short-term rental, and I thought, it looks interesting. I like it. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can do it better than what I see now. And then it was kind of a natural move.
So what convinced you to start then? What were the things that weren't going well with the other property management companies that you thought you could do better?
I saw the property that had everything to be, a perfect short-term rental, but the maintenance was very poor. The design was very poor. Half of the lights were not working. Half of the pictures, were bent, broken. So it wasn't really taken care of, while the property itself, the real estate, was really beautiful. And then I thought, okay, so somebody is renting it out, probably, it has a lot of attraction. The location was good, the property is good, Dubai is very busy, but then it's a very poor service. And coming from mostly, 5-star hotels, you always have this very high standards. So, and I already had the knowledge how to do it because I was in operations, and then I was in sales and hotels as well. So it all kind of, gave me the confidence that I know how to do it.
And what are the main challenges of managing short-term rentals in Dubai? How do you think it's different to other parts of the world?
The competition is really high here. Short-term rental business is regulated business, and it's encouraged, to rent your property on a short-term basis. It's very different from other places where, now, for example, you have some restrictions. In Dubai, it's quite the opposite. So while it's a very busy place that attracts a lot of tourists all year long, you have a number of short-term rentals growing every day, and the number of hotels is very high here. So many brands here. So you have to maintain this, service You have to maintain your relations with the owners if you're not managing just your own property. So it's very complex. And the one more thing I would mention that is very, down to earth challenge that we face in is often a maintenance, especially the AC, because it's a very hot climate here. So you have to service the AC. You have to be prepared. The season is coming. Sometimes you have to service the AC beforehand, before the complaints start. So this is something that you learn here, and I'm guessing every region or every city it has its own, special kind of challenge. So for us, it's mostly maintenance.
What are the owner expectations like in Dubai, and what are your top tips for making sure you keep the owners happy?
The expectations are super high, of course. Dubai is booming. The real estate market is booming. And investors coming from all over the world. So the expectations are very high. But of course, we have to be realistic. We have to know that it's all about supply and demand and the service that you provide. Obviously, the property also has to be unique. But the basics that are also essential are proper maintenance, a nice, design, and a good property management company that is honest with you, that gives you transparency, that provides a good service to both the owner and to the guest. So these are the essentials, but they are also everything.
Maintenance very important, as you say. Getting the AC right is absolutely essential. I know from spending 10 years in the Gulf that you don't want to be there if there's no AC, especially in summer. Moving on to guests, then. What is the typical guest like in Dubai? Who's the usual traveler, and how do you ensure that you deliver a great guest experience?
The guests are really from all over the world. There are, season for different kind of guests. Obviously, during some religious holidays or during GCC holidays, we'll have a lot of visitors from Saudi Arabia, from Bahrain, from Oman. That is just a neighboring country. So naturally, it brings a lot of people to Dubai. As well as a number of European tourists also is growing every year. There are a lot of Russian tourists here. There are a lot of Americans. So it's very diverse. I would, we were talking about AC. It's funny, but most of GCC guests, they would want to have AC set to super cold temperature before they arrive. So that is something, you see your guests coming from Saudi Arabia, just put your AC to the lowest because they would really appreciate it, which can be so different from the guests who are coming from Europe, or when many of them wouldn't even use the AC because they have the idea that, I can just open a window. So it's really different, but we adjust to, we collect the feedback. We know our guests. So this is how it works.
Yeah, the AC is so important. I think I got used to about usually 18 degrees at night to keep it nice.
This is like the warmest. If you're from GCC, this is just it's not enough to cool down,
Yeah. So what are maybe your top few tips for delivering an outstanding guest experience in Dubai?
Fast and transparent communication with guests. This is the key. It's very important to set the expectations. I think it is very important to be very realistic about your properties. The guests, they need to see what they are expecting, and of course we try to anticipate any needs. We want to be very helpful. We have guidebooks. We create different videos on how to use appliances, again because people come from all over the world here, so there is not one answer that is for everybody. It's not everybody is familiar with water heaters or how to use the gas stove or how to reset it. So just preparing everything in advance, just having all the useful tips, information about the property, clear and fast communication, and of course, cleanliness. It's always number one.
Yeah, making sure it's a clean rental, 100%. Those first impressions when people arrive. What do you think makes your brand stand out in Dubai?
We took a lot from, I brought a lot from hospitality. So we often have things like courtesy calls, which I know many short-term rentals they don't do it because they think people maybe want to have more space. But I feel in Dubai for us it is very important. Many people, they know, most of the guests at this point, they know that there are companies managing the units. It's not always individual hosts. So somehow this sets the standards even higher. So this already became a hospitality business here. So we have to introduce extra. So we do this courtesy calls. We treat every guest as a VIP, and the same applies here for the owners. I think this is also very important, and that helped to grow number of units that we manage, and we get a lot of referrals because we pay a lot of attention to the owners. We hear them out. We always give them feedback about what is happening, not only inside their apartment, but often, in the community, in the building, because at the end of the day, most of them, they bought these properties as an investment, and then they expect a high ROI. And it's very helpful to know, that there might be something not inside their property exactly, but in the community that can be improved. And most of them, they really appreciate it because they know they can influence the community. They can, contact their developer representatives. If there are any issues, it can be resolved. And some things can be improved in the building, like swimming pools, gyms, saunas, and facilities like this.
You mentioned there the word of mouth. Has that been the biggest tool in terms of growing the number of properties, or have you done much marketing to grow the brand out there?
It's proven to be the best, tool, because of course we do marketing, but we also grow naturally. Very there are a lot of referrals, and I find it easy. I'm not running after as the founder of this company and someone who's very involved. I'm not running just after the number of the properties, because the number can be achieved quite high. There are so many properties in Dubai, but growing and sustaining this number, it's very important. And most of the owners we work with, they came through referrals, or they got to know about the company, and then they stayed, for 3 years with us.
If somebody called you up and said, "Oh, I want to start managing rentals in Dubai," what would your tips be to them?
Prepare yourself for a lot of hard work, and there are a lot of regulations here. You want to comply, you want to follow all the standards. Again, prepare yourself to become an engineer, because you have to learn about all the this technical things in the building. And it's a very interesting, very exciting, very challenging business. So it's not something for sure I would recommend to someone who just wants to do on the side, or someone who thinks it's quick, some kind of money that he can make. For sure, no. If you're ready, if you understand your responsibility, you can do it. It's very realistic, but you have to be prepared.
What has been your biggest lesson learned since you started the business?
The biggest lesson learned. Well, I guess this been a while, but when I started, I had a kind of a different, view of how this would be, and it's proven that this is, as I said, this is here. It's not a real estate business. This is hospitality business. People are very important. your staff is your asset. You can't grow without having a reliable team, and just patience. Surely you need to have a lot of patience.
Hospitality, people, and patience. That makes a lot of sense. What do you love most about your work?
I love to see these great reviews, after a hard day, or there's like some, busy operations, and then you have a guest who checks out and he just writes these wonderful things, and you think, oh, it's just all worth it. And we had one of the highlights. We had a celebrity, an American, very famous singer, staying in our property, and we didn't know beforehand because it was booked under, family member name, and we just got to know like mid of their stay who this actually is, and he was very happy, very grateful. It was such a pleasant experience, honestly. I felt very proud that we are hosting this kind of big person here, and then they are so happy. So that is a very very nice feeling to have.
Always great to get those positive reviews. Okay then, Kristina, we've got a few more quickfire questions. Which PMS do you use?
We use Hostfully.
Hostfully, excellent. Which dynamic pricing tool do you use?
Price Labs.
Price Labs. Which piece of tech couldn't you live without?
I couldn't, in my business, I couldn't definitely live without that Hostfully PMS system. Yeah.
Fantastic. In terms of allowing pets at your rentals, yes or no?
It depends really on the contract. We rely a lot on on the owners we work with. So some of them are flexible, some are don't. Generally, by default, we have a setting that pets are not allowed, but we are flexible if our property allows. If we can validate how many pets, what kind of pets, how big they are, we can allow this. We did this in the past, and as long as it's properly managed and organized, and there is a transparent communication between the guest and the host, I think it can be handled, absolutely with no issues, and it's possible. But by default, we have a setting that says no pets.
Yeah, so long as it's not one of the exotic pets which you sometimes see in the Middle East. I've seen there was a video once of a tiger in the going down the road in Doha. So yeah, you do see these
I mean, you never know what can be worse, if it's a tiger or if it's 7 cats in a studio apartment.
Maybe the tiger would be better. Hot tubs, yes or no?
Not so popular in Dubai, so it's rather no, because it's either small properties that won't fit the hot tub, or it's a larger properties that have a swimming pool. So really not a thing here in the region.
Do you prefer to provide a self-check-in or a personal welcome?
100% I'm for self-check-in, but due to some local regulations, some properties, they require in-person check-in, so we do that as well.
And do you prefer calling somebody, a telephone call, or an AI response?
We do call. We have both. I mean, we don't have AI response. We don't use it at the moment, but we have automated messages sent to the guests. They are often very useful, but we also do courtesy calls. And I think the courtesy calls, still the old-fashioned way, it really helped us to improve our reviews and our general score so much.
Yeah, I think making a call is really important. And what's been your most memorable moment?
The American celebrity. That was the best.
Can we say who it is?
He's a singer and rapper, and his name starts with A. That's all I can say.
Let's see if people can work that out then. Final question then, what's your ultimate goal for your business?
Scaling. I see us managing at least 200 properties. The first 3 years being the most fundamental in terms of setting the business, setting the team, the processes, regulations. So it is now the time that I feel is the time to grow and to scale, yet to maintain, that good reviews, that very loyal owners that we work with who trust us to manage their properties, and overall maintaining high standards and positive guests feedback and happy guests. Isn't it a dream of every property manager?
To keep going, to keep going and to keep growing 200. Yeah, it's a great objective. Kristina, thank you for joining us on the podcast, and thank you for being part of the Host Planet Playbook.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, that's it for today's episode. My thanks to Kristina for sharing her journey and being part of the Host Planet Playbook. Remember, this series is brought to you in partnership with Hospitable, the all-in-one property management software designed to save you time and help your business thrive. Hospitable automates your guest messaging, syncs your calendars across platforms, handles team tasks, and so much more, so you can focus on delivering a top-notch guest experience or just get some of your time back. And here's the good news. Host Planet Playbook listeners get an exclusive 14-day free trial plus 25% off for the first 3 months. Head to hospitable.com/hostplanet to claim your offer and start running your rentals on autopilot. And for more free education for vacation rental hosts, head to hostplanet.club, where you can sign up for our newsletter, listen to our podcasts, and download our suite of ebooks. Until next time, happy hosting.